Hello, I'm making a video just for you. Now, just a warning, there may be some errant rabbits or dogs that come into the video. We'll do our very best to improvise and deal with them. Otherwise, it's just a short video that's going to help you build a little bit of strength using yoga, using breathing to help you move your body as a whole rather than just throwing your limbs everywhere. And it's going to start very basic and it's going to work its way up. So you can use it as a warm-up if you're kind of a more advanced physical practitioner of yoga, or you can use it as a step-by-step for gaining more strength and for working your way up to maybe doing the whole thing, maybe multiple times, repeating, or using it as an ending to a practice, or whatever works for you. So we'll start by making sure that we can inhale and exhale properly. So I'm going to use my hands as a motion to give you an idea of what the body should be doing. So as you sit, and you can sit any way you want, provided you can get your two little butt bones on the floor, the sitting bones. And just picture where those butt bones are. You can even feel them, because in yoga you can feel your butt, and people are usually okay with it. And think about where your tailbone is. It's this little triangle, right? So as you inhale, allow things to expand, but without creating like this pooch in your belly with the pelvis tipping forward. So you want things to expand, but you still want to feel like you got control of your lower body. And as you inhale, pull everything up. So think of it as a flame of some kind, maybe like a bonfire or a little explosion. So as you inhale, all the energy comes in. It goes whee, and as you exhale, you draw it back up. So inhaling goes down and out, and exhaling pulls up and in. You're going to activate the muscles way down in the pelvic floor. You may not be used to activating those, at least not consciously. So it's just something that you get familiar with, and over time eventually it becomes, and it changes too. And if you're inhaling and you feel that you're starting to throw your low back way forward, just kind of play with it. Make sure you're not throwing anything forward or out of alignment. When you exhale, you should be able to talk and breathe and do normal things. So if you're clenching, it's too much, chill out and let it be a nice, soft lifting. All right, so we'll start on all fours. So make sure you have a good foundation in the hands. So this particular sequence is not going to come to your feet. So this might be a really good thing for you if you have like knee problems, or your ankles are hurting, your legs. Maybe this is a good workout for after leg day. Okay. So, but then the wrists can sometimes get a lot of pressure, particularly if you're not used to grounding in, right? So taking the hands into the floor, or you can take your hands together. And as you take the hands together, you can do this any way you want, press all of the finger pads in, right? And then press this ridge here, the top ridge where the fingers meet the palm, into one another. Okay, then press the outer edge here. And then lastly, check that the meat, or the L portion of your hand, is then pressed in. So finger pads and the connections, and then the outer edge, and then the inner edge. Okay, so that way you're getting a nice strong. Now if you look, you can see that your palms are kind of pulling away from one another, kind of creating a suction cup. You could throw like a little M&M or a Skittle in there or something. And that's how you want to feel when your hands are on the mat. So it can take constant rearranging. Also, if you have trouble with the wrists and you want to take ridge tops like so, okay, or you want to even take tarantula hands, okay, so you can do that at any time. And if at any point you just need to stop, you just like this, and let the wrists roll out, do what you need to do, be gentle and slow. Okie dokie, here we go. So everything about hip width, shoulder width, go wider in the shoulders if you have to. Roll your inner elbows forward and find that foundation, right? All the fingers, the connective points, the pinky edge of the hand, and then the inner L portion of the hand. So right now you can kind of see my tailbone sticking up a little bit, but I can still breathe, and I'm still engaging the core ever so slightly, so I'm not just dumping things down. And as you exhale, use the lifting from the tailbone up into the navel, into the ribs, into the chest, into the crown of the head. Let the shoulder blades come away from the spine. And then inhale. And feel free to bend the elbows too. Okay, it doesn't have to be stiff. It can be very soft. So from here, you can just stay here. Or maybe you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to do this little wave in downward dog. Okay, in which case, you can wave up from the heels and then curl the tailbone slightly and then bring the low back and the mid-spine, the upper spine, and then come to a nice neutral position. So what you want to do here is I make sure that my shoulders aren't way in front of my wrists. So check that out. Check your foundation and then pull your hands back towards your feet and your feet back towards your hands as though you could make a wrinkle in the middle of the mat. Get a little longer in your plank. And then from here, push into the finger pads fully. Really ground your hands. Push through the upper spine, the mid-spine. And then curl the tailbone slightly. And before you come back and sort of pull the tailbone up, and bend the legs. So you can do that a few times. Taking it very slightly. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. And then curl, round. And then neutral. Inhale. Exhale, push down into all the fingers. All the thumbs, and then see if you can end with a nice neutral spine. If you're doing this on all fours, just keep working that. And then from here, no matter where you are, come to all fours again. Okay, so I'm going to stretch the right leg back, and it's going to kind of stretch the back of my leg at first, right? Maybe the calves, maybe you wiggle the hips. You're going to be very conscious of the low back and not allowing it to dip. So that's where that little engagement in the inhale and the lifting engagement on the exhale helps you. So think about your muscles are an elevator, right? Elevator starts right at the bottom of the pelvic floor here. And as you exhale, you just push the exhale out by lifting the muscles up the elevator, right? So first floor is the navel, second floor, solar plexus. Third floor is the floating ribs and maybe the middle of the sternum. And then pretend like you can go all the way up the crown of your head, right? That's what I like about yoga. You can pretend things. You can have a really strong imagination. So, we're going to lift the leg, not just by lifting the leg. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, I'm going to lift the leg by pressing my entire hand and the fingers into the floor. You notice when I do that, the low back already kind of draws up, right? And then I'm going to use the exhale motion, lift the elevator to help the leg come up. So now I'm engaging a lot of different things at once. Okay? So I'm just going to inhale, let the chest come forward, and then exhale, bring the knee in, right? How else can you do this? Inhale, exhale. Let's think about how else we can do this. Bend the arms. Inhale. Exhale, drawing through the tailbone into the navel, up to the floating ribs. There's another way. Inhale, lift the opposite hand, left hand. And exhale, knee to elbow. What if that doesn't work? What if it's too wobbly? Then you take the hand down, right? Great. Let's do the happy medium. Tarantula hands, maybe. You can continue with what you want, because we're going to do 6 on each side. Inhale. Exhale. And just bring everything down. Maybe find child's pose in between. Or maybe hit downward dog, because you've got plenty of juice left. Alright, it's up to you. We're going to do a couple more waves. If you want to come out to down dog and use it as a stretch for the back of the body, you can. Squeeze the forearms in. You'll notice that that helps ground the hands, but really think about grounding the fingers into the floor. Inhale, kind of tip the tailbone up a little. As you exhale, lift the heels, draw the tailbone down just slightly, and then start rounding the back all the way up. Oh, I got my hood on. Inhale when you get to the plank. Make a giraffe neck, and then exhale, push it down, rounding the upper spine, the mid-spine, lumbar spine. Then release the lumbar spine so the tailbone can kind of free up a little bit. All right, we're going to come to all fours. We're going to do the other side. I'm going to take this off, though, because I really don't need that. All right, let's stretch the left leg. So if your wrists get tired, your hands get tired, you take a break. You get to pause the video. It's a nice thing about the video, right? Or you can start trying to strengthen little parts of your fingers, hands, and forearms that you didn't know existed. Taking the tarantula hands, or whatever works for you. Alright, so from here, pressing all the finger pads, grounding into, and then as you exhale, draw the low belly, bring up the elevator, and then let the leg follow. Okay? Take another inhale, prepare, pull the hands back, and then as you exhale, draw it in. So you know how this goes now, right? So you can inhale it, and then exhale it in. You can bend the arms, right? That creates a little bit more fluidity in the body. It also kind of keeps the arms from being stagnant and getting really tired really fast. There's always the opposite arm, the right arm, bringing the knee to the elbow rather than the elbow all the way back to the knee, because otherwise you'll find yourself like this. Right? You get how that works? Alright, a couple more. So find what works for you. Switch in the middle if you have to. And then when you're done, come back to child's pose. Maybe the knees come apart. Or go to downward dog. Right? Whatever works for you. Alright, now from there, we have a couple of options. So take a nice inhale, kind of lift the tailbone and the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, come up to the tippy toes. Now you can still be on your hands and knees for this FYI, and then bring the knee into the sternum. Inhale, and exhale. What if you bent the elbows a little bit? Came forward. Inhale, ground into all of your fingers and thumbs and see if you can step forward. Guess what? Look, I'm using my tarantula hands. What if you can't step in the middle because of one reason or another? How about stepping to the side? How about that? And then walking it in. Okay? If that presents a problem for you, guess what? Blocks or books or soup cans. It all works. Alright. So I told you we weren't going to stand up today. We're not. This is about the extent of it. So just grounding into the floor with your front foot. So press the heel into the floor, and then press the ball of your big toe and little toe equally on the back foot. Maybe even lift and spread the toes on the front foot. Right? And just stay here. See if you can really ground, and then feel the slight scissoring action of the feet coming in towards one another. You should feel hamstrings engage, hip flexors engage. And from there, we're going to take the knee down. And then from here, you can either stay here or take a nice inhale. And then as you exhale, start to lift through the low belly all the way up to the top. And then you'll just take it down. No biggie. Down dog, or this modification of child's pose. So come back to down dog. Now the blocks are great to use here, so this is just another option you can take. Inhale, left leg. Alright, lift the heel. And then exhale, just drop it for a moment. What happens when you bend the arms? Inhale, come a little closer to plank. Exhale. Alright, ready? Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend everything, and see if you can step the heel down first. You can always step it on the other side. Runner's lunge. So lift and spread the toes of the front foot. Heck, even try pretending like you can lift and spread the toes on the back foot. Just for a moment. And then really press the whole underside of the front of your foot into the floor. Press the heel maybe a little bit deeper now, and then use that scissoring action. Help fire up your hamstrings and hip flexors here. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, let's come down to the knee. Okay, so you can come to your hands on your hips, or you can start here, inhale, and then exhale, draw the tailbone down just slightly, so as the musculature comes up the front of the spine, then you can have a more natural low back curve rather than this. Okay, you don't want that. Alright, come on down. Step it back. Now we're going to get into a series of core planks here. You can do this on your hands and knees. I'm just picking dog hair off of me. There's lots of it to go around. So when you inhale, you're going to come up the three-leg dog, trying to keep your leg very active here. And this foot, the bottom foot, you want to keep that heel as flat as you can. Be careful of the backs of your legs. But actually more importantly is that the knee's in line with the toe. So if you start to do any weird twisting, you need to find a way to modify it, even if that means come to your knees, or even shorten your down dog a little. Really important. Knees and toes must have their eye on the same thing. Alright, so if you inhale here, you're pressing through all the fingers and the toe that you have on the floor. And you exhale, you come forward, you need to know this is a core plank. Okay, and then inhale back. And then exhale, right knee to left elbow. Twisted core plank. See, my foot's not twisting. That might be the hard part, so just do the best you can. Inhale. And then use your arm bending a little bit to exhale. Fire hydrant is what I call this one. And then inhale. And as you exhale, pull the knee into the nose. Now this is optional. Take a breath in. And then exhale, drop the shin. Maybe stay here and stretch, or inhale. Exhale, lift the shin. Okay, inhale. Exhale, drop and lift on the same exhale, and then inhale at the top. Uno mas. Exhale, inhale. Inhale it back. Take the foot down. Take a nice breath in. Let it out your mouth. It's fine, you can do that once in a while. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Check that back leg. Maybe bend it or roll the ankle around. And as you exhale, pull it forward. Core plank. Inhale back to three leg. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Ta-da! Inhale it up. And then exhale, find your fire hydrant. Inhale. Great, let's bring it back to center now. Take a breath in. Giraffe neck. Exhale. Down. Stay and stretch if you want. Okay. Otherwise, inhale. And then exhale. Lift the low belly first. The leg should follow the belly. Inhale. Exhale. Down. Up. Inhale. Exhale. Down. Inhale. And then bring it back. Exhale down. Inhale, take a nice breath in. And stick your tongue out. You're at home, you can do what you want. Heck, even in a studio, no one's looking at you in down dog. See, I'm just doing this, just freestyle. Whatever you want to call that. And then come to your child's pose. Now, at this point, your hands, you've probably had to take a break because of your hands or your wrists. So, it's fine. Let's go through a few ways to strengthen them. And then we can be done. So, you can do this in down dog as well, but I'm going to show you here. So, back to all fours, but I'm on ridge tops now, if you can see. Alright. What I do from here is I come down to flat. You'll notice that my thumbs float on the ridge tops a little bit. Coordinate it with breath. So you're actually getting a little relaxation. And inhale. Use the core. Believe it or not, use the core. Inhale. What would happen if you actually used your core to initiate every movement? Would you have a stronger core? Yeah. What about your metabolism? Because you're actually moving around all the little digestive fires down there. Especially when you use the Ujjayi breath. You breathe in through your nose and out through the nose and throat. Do that a few times. You may have to do this one at a time. Right? You might be surprised how tired you get. And then from here, come to tarantula hands. Okay, now these are just a few things you can do. Roll the inner elbows forward and then pull all the fingers and thumbs in. You'll even see them move a little bit. as though they were going to come together like this. All right, like you're going to pick something up. Okay? Use the inhale to lift the chest, widen the sitting bones a little bit in the back, kind of like a little twerking. Little. And as you exhale, draw, let the legs come up, and then find a natural curve. So this might be a good option for you. So you may find that you can do your core planks like so. And this would be something maybe you could work towards. Okay? Hopefully this video gives you many different options to increase or decrease the intensity and to also build strength and a good foundation in your hands and wrists. Now from here, I would do a bunch of shoulder stretches, which I will have in a later video, but always try to find time for a moment or 10 or 20 moments maybe, come down into your Shavasana. Okay. Now if you have animals in the house, this is when they have a tendency to come over and investigate you because there's a human on the floor. That's not a common occurrence in most houses. Okay, and then when you're done with the Shavasana, about 3 minutes minimum, if you can. You just come up as slowly as you can, coming with the strength of your arms. Head's the last thing. You can finish in a symmetrical seated pose. You can levitate or whatever floats your boat. So that's your first strengthening sequence. If you have any questions, you can find me at harrelsonce@gmail.com. That's HARRELSON, capital C, capital E, @gmail.com. Thanks.